Hey, I'm Kev. Welcome back to MXGP Pro, and I've begun with apology. Has the second race in Germany. I did record it all. Unfortunately, the recording was corrupted, so the result was that Hillman came in second. He had led all race long from the whole, well, virtually from the whole shot to around halfway through the last lap. Then he got punted out by a back marker and he finished second to Jonas by 0.6 of a second. And you wonder why I'm not going to continue with this game after this season. So, Hillman is fifth, but he's almost 2 race wins behind Jonas again. After getting it to almost just over a race win back, he's now 45 points back. And he's still got Olsen Covington attached to the hip. You've got Prado just 6 points ahead of Hillman and a big gap behind to like Patriel, etc. in the top 10, with Bogas rounding that out. So, for Hillman, not quite the weekend he would have wanted in Germany after the disaster of an opening moto, and then having defeat snatched from the jaws of victory on that second race. So we head to France in not the best of moods. Let's see if Hillman can at least qualify well. Can be right up there. So here goes Hillman qualifying then in France, on a track which held the Motocross of Nations last time he is in the Motocross World Championship in the MXGP. So he actually hasn't raced around here. You know, of course, I have some track familiarity. So let's see how Hillman does then. I think we tried to win the Motocross of Nations with France around here. Wasn't that successful. A bit like Hillman last race, where on the final lap, he got into that corner outside the ride, out-braked a back marker, but unfortunately the back marker just couldn't be asked to brake and just went into the side of Hillman. Someone around, Jonas went by and held on until the finish, despite a desperate dive by Hillman into the hairpin, into the second and last corner. But it's another very tricky circuit to get your head around. It is very tight, very undulating, and very bumpy as well. You go downhill into the hairpin, then uphill, and you've got a tight section to end it. Go downhill into the left and right. It's a bit like Estoril, this chicane. And for Hillman, it's just a 141. So see you at the top, just ahead of Jonas. Bogas in third, in his case, ahead of Hunter Lawrence, Patriel. We've got 4 different constructors in the top 5 or 3 different constructors. So let's say with Prado in 6th. Then the top has final of Olsen in 7th, Covington in 8th. And then Ben Watson around at the top 10. You've got Bernardini as well, just outside the end of TM. And here's Hillman, second and last, just ahead of Zaragoza, who once again is in last, the Spaniard. So not many credits or fame earned. Let's see what happens in the first moto though. So here's Hillman revving up at the start, waiting for the gates to drop in France. And trying to make a similarly good start around the outside like he did in Germany, but that's a shocker. As everyone really does bunch up though in front. The Siwa and the Suzuki gets the whole shot. And Hillman grabs second, grabs the lead from the Suzuki rider, does he? Not quite. The owner's been shuffled down. So is the home hero, Patriel. And Hillman does take the lead through the right-hander. Now can he race away from the rest? With a much improved bike from qualifying. Hopefully he's made some changes. As all did see we're getting to the back of Hillman there. Because he definitely pushed him wide. Hillman doesn't like that back, gets back into Siwa. Takes back the lead. Head of Jonas. Oh, and Siwa doesn't like it, gets into Hillman. Here goes Patriel as well, and Covington and Olsen. Let's go 3 wide. Out of the corner. Is that Watson? Ben Watson, the Brit. Up in the podium positions. Whenever we said that this season, I don't think we have so far. Now we have. So he gets down the inside of Olsen. Into 4th behind Watson. Anyone says enough of that. So there's Olsen as well. Watson back down off it where you belong, okay? Oh, maybe not. Watson fighting back against Asvarna. We've got Patrell fighting with Jonas. So he goes for the final chicane. And the top two, probably wouldn't have expected. There's no KTM. There is a Frenchman though. In top three is there temporarily. And gets back by. Look at bogies instead of battling with Jonas as well. Everyone wants a fight in these first couple of laps before it settles down. Hillman behind Seward. Go through the right hander. This is the section where Hillman should be better. And then hopefully with the setup change he can get better in this sector. Look at Jonas and Olsen battling for the top five. Look at Hillman trying to get the rear end round here. Oh, that's never going to work, Hillman. Get style points though. There's this surface where you put the hard in hard pack surface. This track is hell. With its undulations, the hard pack surface, with its barriers as well. You really do have to stick to one line out round here, else you are struggling for traction. Look at that again from Hillman. Getting that rear end. Ow, there's all too much air. Outbraked himself. Look at he's falling back. And there's Suzuki. Will be gaining quickly on Siwa, maybe not. Just do not break into that right hand, Hillman. That can cause some issues, just like it did in qualifying. To go through the final chicane, that's the way to get through it with some style again. Getting the back end out, it's a 35.2 from the leader. Hillman 2 seconds slower. We go out the hairpin. Just got the Suzuki in front. Kind of being the hair for Hillman. Trying to chase him down on his Kawasaki. But has fun as the KTM's behind. And thankfully the leader's not getting away either. These top three just separated by a few seconds. There's all Hillman a bit all over the place in that section. And we've shown why he's awful in this section. And you can see breaking off the line, that just costs him at least half a second. And then off the line into the left hand as well, that just costs him second, costs him time. Getting on the power, just huge delays. Has to go through the right hander. Hard on the power over the jump. There you go, not bunny hopping forward as well. Let's talk about the change to these bikes then as it's settled down after around 5 minutes, or has it? No! We're trying to get on the power and the bike just not liking it. Saves it. He tries to make the move on Jonas, but KTM holding him off again. So Hillman makes his own move. He does a 37, still a couple seconds slower. Almost, and he gets into the back of Jonas through that left-hander. As here goes the Frenchman taking his own line to get away with it round here though. I don't mind that. Oh, he pushes Hillman wide. Hillman got the inside line though. Don't be taking out the Yamaha Hillman round here. You won't live to see the second race. He's behind Jonas, and now this is an issue. In clear air, he could dictate his pace behind Siwa, behind the top two. Now he's battling. He is definitely going to be losing seconds. You don't want to battle here, so getting offline, as you've already seen. It's tricky enough online. Getting offline round here, it's impossible. And that loses such huge chunks of time, much more than other circuits, how tight it is as well. With the hard pack surface, just trying to get this bike back onto the correct line. So when sliding into that right hander and just losing the traction out the corners. You saw that a bit there. Just not going well for Hillman. Just not in that rhythm round here at the moment. But let's talk about the settings then. So go a bit more cautious. Out of that hairpin. So he made it a short wheelbase bike compared to normal medium, just to help that manoeuvrability, especially in that tight, twisty middle sector everywhere around here. Tight and twisty as old Patrol pushes Hillman wide. Of course he gets cheers round here if he does that. And Patrol just being a thorn in Hillman's side at the moment. He wants to catch up to Jonas, but Patrol's going to be diving like that into the hairpin. That loses him seconds in the first set, and he spends the rest of that gaining that back. Ridiculous. That's all. There could be a battle for second at Lumen. The leader's not getting away either in first. So this is all tightening up towards the end of this first third of the race. This is perhaps not where Hillman wants to be. Of course, he wants to be leading in clear airs or not battling with someone, especially the home aero as well. What the hell? You can see Nook just getting offline with the rear wheel. Almost a crash for Hillman, just as he was gaining a bit. On Jonas, as all Covington's dropped back. From the lead, the American. Down off the podium is he, battling with Jonas. So the bike's been made short wheelbase. The other setup change is just making his springs a bit tougher, so you don't bunny hop over the jumps or landing. Just be a bit more suited to this environment. That's all Olsen leads on the Husqvarna. Let's see, we're fighting right back. So you've got two pairs in front battling over third and fourth and first and second. This is great for Hillman, who's all by himself, and it's like he's shaking off Patrol. So now he can just gain on these battling pairs in front. He's really gaining on third, especially in that first sector where he's really good. Seems to be better in this middle sector though now. His bike changing, even though you can see the rear just spinning up. But he's staying upright, that's the main thing round here. If you just stay upright, you'll do well. Lots of riders are going to have issues around here, especially as the race goes on as well. The track gets even tougher to ride around. Look at the top four getting so close now. It's not just the top two, look at them all in a line. And Hillman not far off them either. They go downhill to the end. Oh no! The final third as he gets taken out. I don't know how. He's just wiped out Hillman. We thought he survived the first third without making a mistake, without going down. Of course, he made a mistake previously. And in third, as what are you doing, Patrol? Just pushing Hillman through that final sector. You cost yourself a couple of seconds there. Hillman back into fifth. Taking the Patrol line as well. Covering it inside the line. No, he's a bit wide into the right-hander. No, that's cost him dearly in that battle for the top four. Now he's going to be spending this third. Instead of being right on the edge of the top four, maybe thinking of making moves, now he's just going to be spending this third catching up to that top four. As you can see, they're all in a line now. So Hillman's got the shake off Patrol again. He's basically back to square one after that mistake. Around 5 minutes ago. Hopefully every 5 minutes a mistake doesn't happen. I know that would be pretty good rounder. There's Olsen and Covington are battling over second. See where leads. Jonas in fourth. Or is he? He's into third now. Ahead of Olsen. Olsen being shuffled back. You can see them all battling in front. You can see Hillman gaining as well as you go downhill. Look at Seawood trying to make a break for it on his Suzuki. You don't expect the Suzuki to be leading. Have the KTM of Jonas. And it has Varners who are very good as well. And Hillman who's decent and just set a 34.7, the fastest out of the race. Just when he needs to turn it on. Here comes Hillman firing. On all cylinders. Making this a four-way fight. Five-way fight at the front, should I say. Four-way fight for second. Or was it a three-way fight for third at the moment as Olsen gets overtaken by Hillman, who goes off track but holds on to the bike and holds on to fourth. So that's one position made up. We thought we'd be spending this for just catching up to this fourth. But he's made one place, so maybe at the end of this, but he can actually even dream of leading. Might be the aim. You can keep Olsen behind. Go for the right-hander. So the setup changes from qualifying. Definitely worked on this bike. As Olsen pushes Hillman wide. And Hillman wide in the next corner, but gets a good run this time. You saw previously he just dipped a wheel wide. And it really upset him while he's a bit out of the groove in the next section, but got the drive off the corner most importantly. And this is the place perhaps most so far, most on the calendar, where you really have to balance that throttle as well. It's not just about gunning it. You don't really gun it around there. If you are, you're going to make a mistake. The circuit will fight back, will bite back. So when it backs up that 34.7 for low 35, that's what we like to see. Consistency maybe. That's all a bit wide though. Out the hairpin, not setting himself up for a good run on Covington as he gets into the sign as well. He's wide. Look at it offline. Costing yourself half a second at least in that first set to Hillman. You saw he made the move on Olsen on the previous lap in that first set, so he has the pace. There's no Jonas has taken the lead from Seward. Hillman's got to be a bit more aggressive, much more urgent now. With the KTM in the lead, unleashed is Jonas. It's the same for the Husqvarnas as well. As Hillman tries to make the move on Covington, stick for third. So he's dispatched the Husqvarnas, now he's got to quickly dispatch Seward as well. As good as the Swiss rider is on that Suzuki, probably not a match for Jonas, that Suzuki, against the KTM. And we've seen with Hunter Lawrence as well in the past, just lose time all race now on this midway point in the second half of it. So went back to third. Now can he advance? Maybe battle Jonas for victory here and just help the championship as well. As Olsen and Covington have not got the memo. As Olsen's fighting back now. Oh, 36 Hillman. Just when you need to set another 35, you go a second slower. Poor job. Poor that. As we approach the halfway mark of this race. It's not been balls out, flat out like the first couple of laps. It really has settled down as all Hillman almost over. But it's been an intriguing battle at the top. An unusual rider in the lead for this season. And now it's setting the groundwork for what should be an epic second half of the race. Hillman's had a couple of mistakes, otherwise he could be leading. So he's all over the back of Seward for second. The long-time leader of this race. On board is Suzuki. We've got the championship leader, the top man Jonas on the KTM leading. And that's bad news for everyone in this championship. And more importantly, in this race at the moment. There goes Hillman down the inside of Seward. Grabs second, does he? They touch wheels. So Hillman had the move done. And the battling, but Seward's holding on. Oh, but Hillman goes down the inside into the right. Looks like he's made it stick. He's going through the fine chicane. Another 34 from Hillman. Bounces back from that 36 and grabs second. Now he can chase after Jonas. Let's see what the Kawasaki man's got for the KTM ride around hell. This undulating, tough circuit. I see you has not given up on second just yet. But he might have to soon. Someone's going to be pushing like a hell now. Putting the odd 34. Such a turnaround from qualifying his pace. Great to see the setup changes work. And there's a special setup around here. I'm not sure we're going to use it again this season. It's set up, but we'll see. Because there's still some very tricky tracks in the second half of the season. What are you doing, Hillman? You finally take second and you mess up. Going downhill just slightly off the line. You absolute idiot. That's his third mistake. He's only had one fall this race, but that's a couple of big mistakes. When he's in third, when he's in second, it's going to cost him laps. Time to gain on Jonas. And now here comes Olsen as well. He wants to have some fun. Never want to hear those words since the first race of the season in Qatar. Oh, and Covington just nails it down the inside of his teammate though. And look at that, he's lost 4 seconds that lap, Hillman. The Jonas. And he's already a couple seconds back. So he's around 6-7 seconds back. He's got the push like a hell for the main of this race. No, he's into the Fox sign. Get going, Hillman. He's down to 6th. One mistake leads to another around it. They say caution be cautions. Well, crashes be crashes apparently. So that's his second proper fall. He's behind the Frenchman. He's in the top 5 on home turf. He can forget about the victory now. Jonas has got this. Jonas has won this race. Even with 11 minutes out, there's no way he can gain. 12 seconds now. You can time it in this sector. Yeah, it's around 12 seconds. It's the gap to Jonas. He's got Prada and Iber battling behind for 7th. And Hillman, he's got the pace. That's a frustrating thing. He's got the pace to battle Jonas. He's just been stupid in this sector. He's set up well heading into this third. He set himself up well, and now he's had a lap from hell. Couple of laps from hell, and look at this. He's now in 6th. Lucky for him, C was in 2nd still, holding up Taz Varners. And so Hillman with the Frenchman can gain on that trio. And we can have a good battle for 2nd, at least. Even the battle for victory's over. He's lost 5 seconds out of that. That's stupid. That mistake. Should not be making that. And that's maybe why he's not going to win the championship this season. Even at a halfway mark, he'd be over almost 60 points behind Jonas after this race, depending where he finishes. That's a big gap to make up in a half a season. Let's see if Hillman can do it. It's again a bit throttle happy now. He's just pushing a bit too hard. Maybe he's almost into a sign. He's offline. Come on, Hillman, get it together. Make the move. And the home hero first. On the inside the Frenchman, 4th, a top 5. And the home crowd goes silent. At least he didn't take out the Frenchman, I guess. Otherwise he probably wouldn't have survived. See that second race. Oh no, Seaver's been passed by Covington. Oh, he battles right back though. That's the Swiss rider. There's someone trying to find the traction, but Covington's got the move done again on his Asvarna. Someone running out of time to even get into that battle for 2nd with Seaver overtake. No! Are you absolutely kidding? Okay, who was the French marshal who stuck that sign out a bit more on that lap? Are you absolutely kidding? Now we're battling with Prada. This is the issues. Now you're battling, you're going off the line all the time, and it's worse round here than any other track. You're losing seconds per sector. You could easily lose 5 seconds just battling this lap with Prado Hillman. So now he's got to clear this KTM and just gun it in this final third. After so many stupid mistakes. It's 5 or 6 now. And you're seeing they cost so much more around here. He should be battling Jonas for the lead, or should be in the lead. But he's now 20 seconds back off the Latvian. And you can only dream of seeing the KTM for the rest of this race. Even going up and down, you can only dream of seeing them. And you see Patra is gaining on Seaworth for 4th. So unfortunately Husqvarna's unleashed as well in this final third of the race. This final third is meant to set up a lead battle. Now setting up a battle for maybe 4th for Hillman. He's just trying to push hard, but no, every time you go slightly wide, just cost himself 10th of a second. Costing himself trying to get on that power. Just got to find that balance of pushing too hard and pushing just the right amount round it. But he is catching up to Patrell, that's the main thing. And he seems to be gapping Prado behind on that KTM. Which is good for the championship, because he's trying to tell Prado for 4th. As what the hell is that? Hillman has a good lap, and then of course he gets screwed up in the final corner. Just taking his normal line, and the bike decides, I'm just going to go off fishing now. This track surface is hell. I mean, it's bad enough the track, how difficult the track is, then you put this track surface on top. Is it 10 times worse? That's why it is the biggest challenge on this calendar though. That's why it was the Motocross of Nations track previously. And all those greats from across the pond all over the world coming here. Doing battle. Don't know how they did. I mean, it's very tight and twisty, especially in this sector, but somehow, allegedly, they did battle. As now Hillman's got no choice but to go 100%. After yet another mistake. Just as he's catching up to 5th. It's always been when he's just about to do something, Hillman. Battle for 3rd, battle for 2nd, battle for the win. Makes a mistake. Because he's got 6 minutes remaining, so he's got 5 laps. 5-6 laps as he goes wide, and Prado of course wants a piece of that. No, that's just, look how silly that is in the final set. It costs him around half a second doing that when you can just flow over that section instead of trying to go side by side in a 1-lane alley. Ridiculous. No wonder it's cost him time on Patra as well, isn't it? Like Hillman was gaining into that final sector. Now Hillman's off the line all the time, just trying to keep Prado behind. There's a top 5 in the offering, guys. Come on, let's work together. And Hillman, that 34 pace seems to be long gone. At best, he's doing 36s. Looks like it's no. What are you doing, Prado? Almost pushing Hillman off. What an absolute bell end in front. So of course Hillman pushes Prado wide in revenge. And then Prado does it back to Hillman, but Hillman holds on. And again, they're just costing themselves seconds. Look at Patrol. A lap ago, you could see him going over that jump. Now you can barely see him. That's how much fighting this cost this pair. You thought Hillman with experience would know better. Obviously Prado doesn't. Very young, fiery Spaniard. As here goes Hillman into that final sector. See, no, there you go. It's a bit more flowing, but that's a 37. They did cost themselves a couple of seconds there. Thanks to that battling in the middle. Go on, 34, 35s only, Hillman. Anything else is unacceptable now. So don't get me wrong, I am enjoying the challenge around it. It's just incredibly frustrating as well, how thin that wire is between excellence and idiocy. Unfortunately, Hillman's crossed the idiocy line way too many times. But it is so easy to do around it. Patchel still all over the back of Stewart. So this is it. He's hooking it up now, Hillman. And this lap. Go downhill. Brakes a bit too late. Just about holds on to the racing line, though. So Olsen and Coven are still debating who should finish second behind Jonas. Whoa, what the hell, bike? Why did the rear wheel just catch itself? Once again, when Hillman's catching up to Patriot and getting a good lap, he makes a mistake. That's double figures now, this race. That is really unacceptable if he wants to win this championship. And here comes Prado again. Was finishing in 6th, he's losing 10 points at least to Jonas. When he has the pace to gain at least 3. And that's the thing, the difference between winning, would you say, is so little. And Jonas finishes top 5 virtually every race. Can't guarantee that about any other rider, unfortunately, in this championship at the moment. As Hillman, you get going, come on. Let's look at a Honda rider. Where's he come from? In 6th. So what should have been at least a podium, should have been a battle for the win, should have been the top 5, next to be just a battle for 6th now for Hillman. So you go through these last couple of minutes. I'm just thankful this first race is over. At least we don't have another one round here. Oops. I'll just be glad to see the back of this track. As much as I am enjoying the challenge, no, it's just stupid shit like that. Which I feel is kind of out of your control. Even though it obviously is, but it just feels like it's not in your control around it. Now it's around 30-40 seconds back of Jonas. That's how much, I think it's now 11 mistakes cost you in a race. Come on, Hillman, finish at least 6th. Grab something from this race, because 9th is really unacceptable for the championship. No, that 41. That's something you'd expect to see in qualifying, not in a race. Someone's behind Leiber. You can see Prado battling with the Italian on his Honda, who Hillman does not battle with well famously this season, so that'll be interesting to see if they get together in these final 3 laps of the race. Hillman down the inside of the Belgian, no. Down the inside of Justin Bieber, the Belgian version, for 8th. You see Prado's got past the Honda, so Hillman's got to get past the Italian quickly if he wants that 6th place. Prado's quick on that KTM. Once again, he's just been caught battling this race, and it's just so easy to get stuck into that rut. It's not like other circuits such as like the Netherlands, where if you get past someone, it's so wide open, a bit softer as well. You can take some alternate lines, or some slightly different lines. It's not as one route suited. It's Bernardini. And wants a battle in there is to pass on the Italian now for Hillman. Can he get past the Spaniard? With 2 laps to go. To go through the right-hander. Just a bit wide. Oh, he almost had the line there, Hillman. Look, it does a 34 again. But again, this is the first race. We see this from Hillman in the first motos. Unfortunately, by this time of the season, you would have hoped he'd cut it out, but second motor is normally much better. And he's got to basically be mistake-free in the second motor if he wants to win. Which, considering he made 11 or 12 mistakes in this, Well, he's asking a lot, but you never know. He's now used to the circuit, and with this setup around here, that was poor for Prado over that jump. Easier that was Hillman by for 6th. Because once again, the final couple of laps of a race, he's found the rhythm, he's found the pace. That's all Prado almost into the back of Hillman there. Would have thought for sure he would have been, maybe early in the race. Could have wiped him out. Hillman goes through the right hander, that's a poor run. Into this jump. Jonas begins the final lap, so he's actually around 25 seconds in front. So it's not that bad, so it's only around a couple seconds per mistake. So maybe Hillman can afford at least one in this next race. As I believe that is lap traffic in front, unfortunately, not 5th. As well, he got pushed into the sign by that traffic. Thanks for that. That would have been another 34 without that. As Hillman tries to get going again, here comes Prado down the inside, a bit of a dive. So Hillman gets down the inside and holds onto the line as well. As we're on the final lap, so we've got a final lap battle for 6th. Despite all the negative things I said about him, at least we've got some battles this race. That's what you're doing, Prado. That way you're making a move over a jump like that. Fortunately, Hillman's coming up to that traffic in the middle sector, so hopefully he can clear him through this left-hander. Oh, he takes a tight line. What's he doing? Hillman would be beeping his horn furiously if he had one. There you go, just ram him out of the way. That's how you get their attention. I wonder who's won the battle for 4th as well. What is he doing in that traffic? We saw this. Well, you didn't see this, but I saw this in Germany for Hillman. That traffic tried to take him out in the final lap and succeeded then in the second race. And robbed him for 3 points of a double win. Jonas crosses the line for a victory. That's all. Hillman upbreaks himself. Get going, Hillman, come on. And there, it's allowed Prado to maybe have a move. Run a couple of corners. That mistake. As he goes to the final chicane, Prado's pushed Hillman right. Hillman pushes Prado right. And Prado beats him. That's more points he's cost himself. So Jonas wins by 10.4 seconds, where he was uncatchable once he got past the Swiss rider. As Seaworth finished just off the podium, ahead of Patrick, but behind Covington, who made it a double has on a podium. Then we've got Prado by half a tenth ahead of Hillman at the line. Then we've got the Italian 8th, Freiburg 9th, Laurentine 10th ahead of Bernardini, Bogies, Sterry, Ben Watson, remember him? Down in 14th, we got Van Donnick as well, the Belgian, Petrov in 16th, the old Bulgarian favourite, Zaragoza in last as always. And there's Hillman, he's lost 11 points to Jonas, so he's around 65 points back now of Jonas, or around 60 points back. That is a lot to make up in the next half of the season, which begins with the second race round this French hell. How will Hillman do? Will he cut out the mistakes? Will he grab a podium? Will he grab an all-important victory again in the second race of a round? Find out next time. Thanks for watching. We'll find out then.